Hey dames, it's really, really early, hence my pyjamas and my crackly throat and just general shoddy appearance. But I wanted to get a video up before the end of the week. The reason why I haven't is down to good old classism. Whenever I voice my opinion on Lads Mags or Page 3, I always get quite a similar reaction from a large group of feminists. Yes, Holly, but what you're failing to understand is that we don't have a problem with these working class girls getting their kit off in the pictures, but our problem is with the wider patriarchy. You fucking kidding me? As if I don't know that your problem is with the patriarchy, as if us working class types don't and can't understand. You know how you feel when a man mansplains to you? That's how I feel when middle class women tell me that I'm not seeing the bigger picture. You can use your privilege to do that too, and you really need to check it. Middle class feminists, the reason that I don't agree with your campaigns is that, admirable or not, they are rooted in classist prejudice, and so I will critique them. I'm sorry. We live in a patriarchy, so literally everything has the power to oppress us as women, like right down to chocolate bars and walking down the street, and you know, this media that is constantly attacking us as women from every single angle in every way that it can. So with that wealth of sexist everything in society, we can look at what groups identify as being dangerous, what deserves to be critiqued, what deserves to be deconstructed, and what deserves to be smashed. And quite often those things are rooted in some kind of classism. So the media publications that you've chosen to identify as being harmful to women are Lads Mags and The Sun. Just those, plucked out of the multitude of, you know, magazines, TV shows, adverts which are so harmful to women for all of the reasons. That's what you've chosen to focus your attack on. Fine, I understand that we have to start somewhere. But you are ignoring all of the magazines that are targeted at middle class men, which involve the same levels of nudity and, I'd argue, like, worse sexism. For instance, GQ have just had their awards ceremony, and so they had alternate covers, and they had 5 in total, 4 of which had men in them with tuxedos and, like, you know, their kind of wrinkles photoshopped in, and then 2 of them included women. One of them was on the James Corden cover, where you just saw like these disembodied arms stroking him and showing how like desirable and loving he was. And then the other one was Lana Del Rey, who was their Woman of the Year, and to show how Woman of the Year she was, never mind that all of these men had been, you know, given tuxedos and stuff and shown how, you know, slick and smart and, you know, high profile they are. Lana Del Rey was naked and huddled up in like a really sort of vulnerable little girl, I've been put on the floor kind of position. So that didn't get brown bagged. Every single one of their magazines, if you take a look through GQ, they actually have quite a lot of nude models cut off from the neck as like a backdrop to commodities and like watches and all of this shit that like middle class men want to buy for some reason. No interview, no name, no identity, just literally a piece of backdrop. And personally, I object to that more than images of women that are accompanied by, you know, some admission that they have some kind of cognitive ability to string together a sentence and to form an opinion, as opposed to literally just turning them into something set into the background. And it's not even that you're attacking working class magazines per se, because, you know, they're still published by the same bourgeois companies that are making a ton of profit, but you are disproportionately attacking magazines that are aimed at working class men, and this is because working class men are oppressed in society as well. Their tastes are seen as, you know, constructed as being uncouth and vulgar and as dangerous, because we as women are taught to fear working class men. And despite the fact that sexual assault happens in all echelons of society, and one of the biggest complaints of sexual harassment in society is from the workplace, from your boss, from people with a lot of power, because ultimately sexual assault is an abuse of power. So it's magazines for blokes that get brown bagged, because, well, middle class tastes are classy, artful, No, they're just as harmful, and they still add to rape culture, and we need to address this. And I just think that if you're going to run around choosing magazines to black bag, then you should probably look at all of the middle class offenders as well as the working class offenders if you don't want to like completely propagate classism. I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong and you need to like completely scrap your whole page 3, you know, brown bagging, ban the pages kind of protest here. Not at all. Obviously the propagation of this beauty ideal that represents such a narrow sliver of society, which is really heteronormative, racist and disableist, like obviously that needs to be pulled apart. And having images of women's bodies so easily accessible in society does propagate rape culture. And nudity shouldn't be in newspapers, despite the fact that news is a construction and loads of stuff that get put in newspapers isn't exactly topical. But regardless, middle class feminists, I understand your points. I do. I'm poor. I'm not an idiot. I get that it's about the patriarchy. I get that it's not about like the specific women in these pictures. And, you know, screw your assumption that all of these women are working class anyway, because, you know, a lot of them are middle class as well. So, you know, that's just like another one of those stereotypes of like the airheaded working class blonde that you need to check and you need to get out of your vocabulary. So what am I saying? I'm saying that while you're running campaigns, you have to look at what sexist behaviour you are choosing to identify as dangerous and what you are overlooking and therefore choosing to condone within society. And you have to be very mindful about whether those decisions are guided by prejudice or not. So yeah, middle class feminists, check your privilege is basically the gist. See you on Tuesday. Bye. Oh, I forgot. On Monday, hopefully, there's Cuts Cafe stuff happening in London. If you're in London, you should check it out. I'm going to put all of the links down there because it's going to be like a really, really cool radical space to help people who have been adversely affected by the cuts, and everyone should swing by. It's going to be great. I'm going to be there a bit, and I'm sure some of the other dames will swing by too, and so it would be really, really great to see lots of feminists there. And yeah, great. Bye bye.